Hey everybody, this is Chase Batiche. I'm here with a Witchy Bitch weekly message. This week I want to talk about what is a witchy bitch, because I think those two words, people are attracted and also curious and also I think a little bit scared of what they mean, and I want to talk about what they mean to me and how I came up with them. So Witchy Bitch is actually based on a book that I am in the process of completing, just finishing the final edits on. And I chose this juxtaposition of words because I didn't have any way of describing what it was that me and my closest girlfriends kind of did together, which, you know, the closest people to me are women that are witchy. And I didn't have any way of really describing that. And to me, witchy meant in tune with their intuition, spiritual, understanding the deeper symbolic nature of reality, of the undercurrent of things, feeling the empathic, psychic, intuitive realm, understanding that, understanding the spirit realm, and being able to kind of harness and work alongside this energy. And, you know, so I'd always be like, you know, oh, we're witchy bitches, like getting together, you know, doing our witchy shit, doing our witchy stuff. And, you know, it wasn't until I really started unpacking what that meant in my book that I really began to understand, even to me, what it really meant. And, you know, to me, a witch is, I say that I am a witch, but I do not practice any kind of mainstream witchcraft, which would be like having a coven or casting spells or any kind of paganism. I actually actively reclaim this word as a sacred healing power that is bestowed upon women. And it is bestowed upon men as well, but witch was mostly relegated to feminine energy and feminine power. And what I like to highlight is that this is an energy that, you know, over the course of time was the feminine energy that is the intuitive, it's the yin, it's the internal, it's the emotive, it's the psychic, it's the energetic, it's the undercurrent, it's the energy behind the matter. And these women that throughout time have been the holders and the keepers of this kind of sacred energy, the ones that healed people when they had, you know, fevers, that helped deliver babies, that had a sense of a sacred kind of sight, an energetic undercurrent. You know, the name that was placed to them by a male hierarchical religious order was the word witch, and that became an extremely negative term. It became a term that actually meant that these people, these women, were holders and keepers of satanic energy, that were evil, that would manipulate reality to their will. And really what it really is it's a patriarchal ruling order that is afraid of this undercurrent psychic energy. And so it relegated it to the shadows, and anybody that kind of held this power was deemed a witch. And so it actually this power became so subverted in our modern day culture. And this is like the past couple thousand years. And it's been so in the shadows and in the undercurrent, and we've been so brought up, even in the last century and decades, to not value this energy, to not value it within ourselves, to not see it as worthy, as valuable. And what I am actively doing is bringing this energy back to the surface, reclaiming it for what it is, which to me, a witch is not somebody that necessarily practices paganism or anything like that. It's really a person, a human that uses love as their highest guiding principle, and is in tune with the spirit realm to use that energy for the healing of themselves, their environment, and for the planet. So that is my definition of what a witch is. And you know, I wrote an article that I'm going to post on my website about debunking the witches of Instagram, because there's this whole movement about the witches of Instagram, and if you follow it, it's really a hashtag that is like so cheesy. And I'm sorry if anybody out there follows this and likes it. You know, I'm not dissing you. I'm dissing the idea. I'm simply examining the idea of what a witch is in our current culture. It's still this really kind of juvenile, energy that is about placing these hexes and I'm going to create a spell and I'm going to bind you, Donald Trump. And it's like still this kind of dark, it's still owning this dark energy that is not a real full-fledged mature witch, which is what I teach and what I try to uphold is a woman being in high command of her own power and worth and not needing to manipulate reality, because the idea of what a witch is in our culture, and for many this is liberating to like reclaim this energy. For me, I don't think it's actually helpful this idea that you have this power to cast spells and to create and to put these hexes, and it's still this kind of dark energy. And for me, a real witch that is in high command of her power has no need to manipulate reality. And this is the key difference that I have amidst different ideas of what a witch is, because for me and what I teach and what I promote within myself and my own practice is really learning how to get so in tune with the energetic divine flow, cosmic consciousness, the universe, love, the divine, whatever you want to call this force of love. It's starting to become so in tune to create a relationship, to create a full-fledged relationship where you begin to see this energy as something that is real, that is powerful, that is beautiful, that is good. And you start opening yourself up to connect and commune and actually act as a kind of channel through which the divine can work through. So it's accessing the higher realms of love and using yourself as an instrument to create healing amongst yourself and your environment. And so it's really about the energy of receptivity. And the mainstream idea of witchcraft that is kind of coming back, I still think is very much rooted in this darker energy that has to do with manipulating reality that is not receptive. It's about creating from your own will, which can be a lot of times, if we're not in tune and deeply in tune enough with ourselves and we've done enough shadow work to excavate our own wounding, a lot of the things that we want to manipulate are based in our ego, which are still based in a lot of our wounding. And so the work that I do is to help integrate the shadow, the parts of ourselves that we still hold back, that we still feel unworthy of. Because truly, if you think about it, the yin and the yang, which is how I base everything, all of the healing work that I do, is based in the Tao, which is the yin and the yang, elemental basic energies of the universe. Yin and yang are one. They have the masculine and the feminine. And in order for there to be true healing and health and balance, those two energies must be in balance. But because of the world that we live in today, the masculine has almost the energies of the masculine, not just men, okay? We're talking about the energies that are about the material, about the dominance, about aggression, about rationality, not just bad though, about getting things done, doing, right? Thinking. All of those are so heralded and so viewed as worthy and valuable compared to the energies of the feminine, which are more about being, receiving, allowing, opening. And those energies, intuition, empathy, feeling. And so the yin is really what I believe, and this is what I discuss in my book, it's really where the shadow is. It's where our truth is. It's where our emotion is. And we've been so talked out of through rationality, our own truth. And so many of us are going around kind of living lives that we think that we should be living because it's what society has kind of put up. And we're so out of tune with what is actually true to ourselves, what is actually right for ourselves, that we are lost. And this is when I created this program, and this is when I started writing the book, is because I was doing body work, holistic body work, and I would see the same thing over and over. I would see women and some men coming into my office feeling exhausted, depleted, anxious. They would have all these problems with their bodies, chronic conditions, autoimmune disorders. And the first question I would ask always would be, do you have a spiritual practice? And always it would be like kind of, sort of, not really. And we're so trained, at least I was trained to believe a spiritual practice was kind of like a meditation practice. You know, I took refuge as a Buddhist. Like, I've gone down every spiritual path anybody can go down, but I was always resonated really well with Buddhism. But after I took refuge, I realized that it was still another dogmatic, you know, the Tibetan Buddhist tradition is still very dogmatic, and there's not a lot of feminine energy. And there was never a place where I could hold space for my own truth and healing, empathic, intuitive energy. It was like diminished. I didn't see it in the world, and I didn't see it. And it was the same thing that as the energy of the feminine rises, it's this energy within ourselves. It's recalibrating the feminine yin, shadow, darker, intuitive, hidden energy within the self, which is where the witchy bitch resides, which is where the witchy bitch lives. And I use the word bitch because witch and bitch are two words that have been used to defame and put down a woman. And, you know, I reclaim the word bitch actively because women do. We need to. It's time. And to put those two words together, it's like, yeah, I'm in tune. I'm in tune with myself. I'm in tune with spirit. I don't actually need any authority, outer authority, to tell me what is right for myself. I have become so in tune with myself and spirit and in such a divine flow that I actually am led and guided through my decisions in life. Not only that, what I teach and what I believe a true witchy bitch is somebody that has learned how to commune with this force enough that they are able to begin to understand how to let go. And letting go, because we live in such a society that is so about doing in the masculine, and it's really, the masculine is all about, which we need, okay? We all have. But it's a pathology that it's become so intense that the control and the need for control has dominated our experience. And it really comes from insecurity, it comes from fear, and it comes from not having any anchor to something deeper than the self. And as we kind of emerge into 2020 energy with all of the chaos that's happening around the world, tuning into our own spirit, into our own personal spiritual practice that is outside of religion, that is outside of any spiritual order, that is actually our own singular connection to this force, and learning how to open up to it, begin to offer, pray, commune, and surrender whatever it is that we think that we want in our lives to this force, so that we can learn how to let go and allow it to work through us. And this is the key piece in becoming a witchy bitch, is that this is what I had to learn, and I'm still learning it. I'm still on the path, but it's evolving as I learn how to surrender it more and more and more and more. Because the truth about this idea behind, you know, the idea behind manifesting, which is so rampant, like Abraham Hicks and this, you know, especially in LA, everybody's like a manifester, and it's like, yeah, I manifested this and I manifested that, and it's like, hell yeah, that's great. But so much of the time, the things that we think that we are manifesting are coming from a place of the mass race consciousness of what we can see. And a lot of times when we're putting this energy into what we think that we want, what we're doing is we're blocking what actually is meant for us, that we can't even imagine for ourselves. And, you know, you might say, oh no, my imagination is huge. You know, I can imagine all things. And yeah, you might from where you are right now, but our consciousness and the consciousness of the divine it's cosmic. It's cosmic consciousness. And it gives us, once we begin to learn how to let go of what it is that we really want, the manifesting idea, and begin to open to receive what the universe has in store for us, actually will give you more and will offer you more than you ever even thought was possible. And I'm telling you, this is what has happened to me in my life over and over and over, because I went down the manifesting road, which is very much in the masculine energy of do, create, I want this, and I'm going to train myself to make it happen. And I became so exhausted and so depleted, and I said, I'm done. I'm exhausted. I surrender to whatever it is that I am meant to do. And that's when the truth of my own journey began to emerge, and I learned how to release and let go of these grasping hands enough to be able to open to what it was that the universe actually wanted to give me. And this was such a profound lesson. And this is really one of the keys. The true key to a witchy bitch is learning how to live in receptivity. It's a real power, and it's a power that we have not seen or honored enough in our modern day world, but it is a real and true power that once harnessed can create healing, balance, and equilibrium within the self, worth, abundance, true abundance that comes from a deep place. And the ability to receive it, because what the other thing I teach is learning how to receive what we've been given, because so many of us will be like, I need this kind of lifestyle, I need this money in order to live this kind of life, or just to survive. And so we go down these manifesting kind of rabbit holes. But the truth is that when we're in that space, we're pushing and pushing and pushing. We're not allowing ourselves to fully open to what the universe has in store, but also we haven't done the deeper work to excavate the places that have been blocking that ability to receive. So once, if we do say manifest $500,000, $5,000, $50, it doesn't mean that we're going to be able to truly receive it or hold on to it. It's just exactly along the lines of people who win the lottery and then they're bankrupt 2 years later. It's learning how the true keys to receptivity, which the true key to receptivity is worth. And it is all wrapped up in the divine feminine and the yin and the shadow. And that is what I do actively as a witchy bitch, and to actively reclaim this energy within my clients and myself, is to begin to reclaim, shine light, and to open up to our psychic divine healing power for ourselves, our planet, and to begin to open up to our true value and worthiness through this process. So I hope this clarified some bits of what a witchy bitch is. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more, but look for my article on debunking the witches of Instagram and on my website. And I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful week. Yes, so much love to you. Blessings.